All right, here we are reading a text about bats by Ned Jensen. It's been adapted slightly for our Thinking Core curriculum. So we are going to read through this text together. You'll see that there are numbers on the side. Those are just numbering the paragraphs, making it easier for us to discuss. As we read through, we're going to do a few different things, take a few different steps in order to think about and explain how the author has structured their argument to show their point of view about the topic of bats in order to develop the main idea. So, always reading a text to figure out what it's mostly about, the main idea. In order to determine the main idea, we look at those preceding steps, the structure of the text, the point of view of the author, and that is going to lead us towards the main idea. Okay, when we're doing that, we're going to be using these 3 compass words to guide our thinking and help us to expand our discussion and ideas. We'll start on the left. The word is unique. This is a word that we have used together in class. To be unique means exceptional, distinctive, rare, and we always would say it meant one of a kind. Okay, the other word, misjudge, you see the prefix MIS gives you an idea. To be misjudged means to be misunderstood. You have the wrong idea, the wrong impression. There's been a mistake made when you're making a judgment. And the final word is one we've used many times, beneficial. Remember again, B-E-N-E, meaning good. So beneficial is something that is helpful, useful, advantageous, or valuable. We're going to be using the compass word and the synonyms when we get to that step when we're putting all our ideas together for the writing task. Okay, so remember to use the word and its synonyms in order to best explain. All right, so we're going to go back up to the top. We're going to read it together. As we read through, even the first time, I'm going to start thinking about what sort of words or phrases do I see that gives me an idea about the author's point of view. So the author's point of view is how do they think about things? What are their beliefs and feelings? What are the things that they value? So I'm going to see if I can identify some keywords that convey like their opinion or their feelings or the things that they value. All right. About bats. Scientific name, Chiroptera, meaning hand wing, by Ned Jensen, from paragraph 1. Enter a cave just as night approaches, and you might see a dark cloud pouring like smoke from the cave. It's a cloud of sorts, but it's not a rain cloud. It's a bat cloud. Our author has used specific words and phrases to make us feel a certain way as we read that paragraph. We're entering a cave as night approaches. We're seeing a dark cloud pouring like smoke. Figurative language. Whenever we see that figurative language, that's also giving us an idea that the author is trying to make us feel or make us think something. Okay, and it's a bat cloud. So they're setting us up for a certain feeling or emotion right off the bat. Paragraph 2. Bats are interesting creatures. Saying something is interesting is giving me the feeling or opinion of the author. Interesting creature. That's up to them, right? They're trying to share their value. They think they're interesting. Bats like to spend the daytime in the cool darkness of a cave, hanging upside down from the ceiling, but nighttime is different. It's time to hunt. So thousands of bats take flight from the cave. They dive and dart about, snatching insects from the air. Go figure. They seem to get a bad rap when it comes to looks. In fact, some people might consider them downright ugly. Others think bats look fierce and scary. If you get to know bats better, you might change your opinion of them. You might even think positively about them. Our author is saying, hey, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to me and get to know them better. And you might change your opinion of them. You might even think positively about them. They're trying to convey their values and make you consider their thinking. And that gives us the idea that they think positively about bat if they're trying to say you will think positively about the bat. Okay? A bad rap. That is an interesting expression. We'll come back to that. Let's keep reading. Paragraph 4. Look at that image. That's the vampire bat. Paragraph 4. After all, they are mammals, and so are you. Bats are shy and gentle mammals, but they do one thing that no other mammal can do. They are the only mammals that can fly, but that is not all they can do. There are many bat species that can eat thousands of mosquitoes and crop-destroying insects in an evening. Imagine a whole colony of bats eating away. For example, in Texas, there is a colony of 150 big brown bats that protect local farmers from up to 33 million or more rootworms each summer. There are other bats that pollinate many of the fruits and nuts that we enjoy. Nectar-eating bats do this by pollinating flowers, just like bees. Large fruit bats can spread seeds throughout the rainforest, helping to plant new growth. And in addition, bats' poop, called guano, is the best plant fertilizer known to man. Boo! Vampires are scary. But vampire bats, the only mammals that feed exclusively on blood, have a special blood-thinning chemical in their saliva that doctors study and use. Its saliva prevents the blood from clotting. Here's one thing about bats that most people get wrong. We're on paragraph 8. Despite what many people believe and say, blind is a bat, bats are not blind. All bats can see. They can use their eyes to see during the day and in the early evening. But at night, these mammals have a special feature to help them hunt. Echolocation is their special feature. Since bats are nocturnal and do most of their hunting in the dark of night, they need a special feature. Echolocation is the use of sound waves to help bats locate insects in flight. Microbats' echolocation is being studied to see if we can duplicate it to assist blind people. The boy riding the bike in the picture is blind. Daniel Kish, who lost his sight to retinal cancer when he was 13 months old, uses echolocation to ride his bike. Bats are placed into two groups, microbats and megabats. But within these two groups, there are close to 1,000 kinds of bats. In fact, there are more different kinds of bats than there are kinds of any other mammal. You have lots of reading to do if you want to learn more about these interesting mammals. Another way we're learning about the author's opinion is they are referring to the bat as a mammal. Why? Why do they keep calling them a mammal? They started off at the beginning saying creature and then told you mammal, 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 because they want to show you that a mammal is what a human being is. They're saying you have more things in common with a bat than you realize. They're trying to persuade us of something. Their point of view is becoming more clear. Okay, how did they structure this text? Okay, so different text structures we've talked about this year. How did they structure the text to show their point of view in order just to figure out what the main idea is? We're going to go through this more slowly, okay? We're going to go through each word, just like we've done with our organizers when we were back at school, sitting in the room together. It's the same process, so you're familiar with it. You know how to do it. Lots of practice. You're really good at this. Okay, so you focus on your word, the first one being beneficial. Okay, now I'm going to go back through my text. I'm going to find words or phrases that are examples of beneficial. Okay, so what is something that's beneficial, helpful, useful, advantageous, or valuable in the text? And I'll type it right here. Now you remember that you do not put long paragraphs as your text evidence. The more straight to the point, the more you have that are straight to the point, that's the best type of evidence. One long block of text, that's going to be hard for you to analyze and use to convey your point. You want to have those little short blurbs. Okay, so finding some text evidence that shows beneficial, and then using the synonyms of beneficial to explain how does this text evidence that I've selected demonstrate that the bat is beneficial and has benefits. All right, so you have beneficial to start with. You're going to break into a group, come up with your text evidence, and then we're going to come back together. We're going to repeat this process for each word, okay? Each word that we introduced at the beginning: beneficial, unique, and misjudged. Okay, so one more time, clarifying the instructions. You have this document in Google Classroom. It includes the text, the compass words, and the organizer. You're going to type right in there. You can share a screen with your classmates if you would like. But make sure you're each writing in your document because you will be submitting this. So type in your text evidence. You may copy and paste it so that you don't have to slowly type it. Okay, so you do have the text, you can copy and paste. Command C is a quick way to highlight and copy. And then most of what you're going to be talking about with your classmates is, how can I explain this? How can I prove to somebody that what I've chosen from the text conveys my compass word? Okay, and then we'll rinse, repeat, share. You know the drill. All right. Okay, now we're ready to move on. Do the same thing with the word unique. The word unique meaning exceptional, distinctive, rare, one of a kind. You're finding those short excerpts, even just a few words, a phrase, one concise sentence as your text evidence. Several is best, and then discussing with your group, explaining your thinking, using the compass word and synonyms to develop your ideas. All right, and lastly, misjudged. We are going to find some evidence of the bat being misjudged, misunderstood. We had the wrong idea, wrong impression about the bat. How do we know? What examples does the author give you? What text evidence is there within this text that shows people had the wrong idea? We have misjudged the bat. Okay, so find that in your article, copy it down into the organizer, and discuss with your classmates how you would explain that to the group. All right, and here we are at the final step of this lesson where we put everything together. We've gone through, we've read, we've reread, we've carefully annotated the text, we've selected the best text evidence in order to convey our idea that the author is expressing their point of view about the bats. They want to show us the benefit of the bat, that the bat was misjudged, they are unique and special. They've done that through the cause and effect relationship. So they've talked about the bat and the impact of the bat. So what is the bat able to do for us? What is the result of the bat? That's that cause and effect relationship that we see throughout the article. So I've put together the introduction of our writing for you. So that's like your guidepost there. Everything that you're writing about within the body and conclusion is going to be connected to the introduction. The author expresses his point of view about the topic of bats with pictures and information. He develops his belief about bats being interesting in three major ways. Bats are unique, bats are misjudged, and bats are beneficial. He clarifies his point of view with the information given about the cause and effect relationship on the topic of bats and their value. So our author obviously thinks bats are very interesting, okay? So that's the long version of their point of view and how they set up the text to share that point of view with you, and what the value is, that they're beneficial, unique, and they were misjudged. Okay, so in your body paragraphs, you're going to use the notes that you've already come up with. You're going to use the discussion you had with your classmates, so you are ready to put that into complete sentences. It says in the instructions, use the notes we've gathered from our close reading to the text to write at least 5 sentences that conveys how bats are beneficial, unique, and misjudged. Your explanation should be supporting the topic. Remember, you're using your strongest evidence, using each of the compass words, selecting the evidence and explanation that you feel most confident with, and then wrapping it up with a quick conclusion. Our introduction is several sentences. Our conclusion, 1 or 2 would be sufficient. Okay, again, make sure that as you talk through it, that you make sure that you have the notes in your own document so that you can submit this assignment. All right, I'll be here for questions.